Hi everyone, my name is Esther Jelenke. Hi everyone, my name is Esther Jelenke, and this is my second video. You're welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. My last video, which was my first video, that was an introductory video. So if this is your first time, I will advise that you go and watch my first video so that you can get like a quick understanding of why I decided to have this channel. And today I am going to be telling you the story of how my journey as a mother with an autistic daughter began. So today I'll be sharing my experience of her birth, my suspicion, and the things that I noticed. I'm not going to tell you the science today. I will be telling you the science next week. But I'm just going to be going through what I saw and how I noticed the difference between her and my first daughter. My first daughter, I was induced for her birth. So having gone through that, my second daughter came after a few years. Gracie's pregnancy was the best so far. I did have the normal morning sickness, but it wasn't as bad as my first daughter. What I remember vividly about Gracie's pregnancy was that I craved for anything sweet. Honestly, anything sweet. She was a summer baby. So I was thinking in my head, maybe it was because of the weather. It was pretty hot, and I was still working, and I was quite big. So I was thinking, maybe that was why I was craving for anything sweet. Trust me, I remember that I would sit somewhere under the shed or anywhere, and I would buy ice cream. And she was the only one that I went through every signs that would lead me to her birth. She was a little overdue for a few days. So I had my contraction. I had everything that I needed to have for Gracie's birth. And I remember the morning, she was overdue, and the night before I went for a walk, and that was how I started feeling the pain. In the morning, I took my bag and I went to the hospital. And with Gracie's birth, it's amazing because I didn't have any of those things I had with Debbie's one. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have any protein. I was just normal. I was just okay. The thing about this girl is I was in contraction and she wouldn't come out. And I remember when it was almost 7 p.m., the midwife came and she checked my books and she tested me and she said, wow, she said, the baby's on her way. She's going, I didn't know it was a girl. She said, the baby's going to be coming out soon. She said, but the funny thing is, I think this baby is trying to come at the same time as her sister. Because I had my other daughter, Debbie, I had her at the King's College Hospital, and this was King's College Hospital as well. So they looked at my books, my record, and they said, oh, I had her on a Friday as well at 7:20 p.m. So the lady said, oh, maybe she's trying to come. And I'm like, that would be odd, like weird. But anyway, whatever happens, just come out, baby. And you know what happened? This girl came out at exactly 7:20 p.m. the same time as her sister. Debbie was born on a Friday, 7:20 p.m. And she too, Gracie, was born on a Friday, 7:20 p.m. Very odd. And that was how she was born. Took her home, we're excited. Another girl came. Even though, let me tell you what happened. I was praying and hoping that it would be a boy. I purposely did not ask for the sex of the baby because I wanted it to be a surprise. But I was hoping it would be a boy. But when she was born and it was a girl, you know what happened? I was so shocked because it got to a stage that I just got fed up of girls. I only had one. And I was thinking, you know, every Sunday or Saturday night, I'll sit down, plait her hair, you know, wash her hair and all this palaver of girls. And then when I want to buy a dress at that time, a nice frock for girls would be like £50. And I will buy that for her. And then you buy a dress. And then you're looking for socks to match. You're looking for ties to match. You're looking for hair bubbles and hair bands and everything to match. And at that time, I'm like, you know what? I can't be dealing with this anymore. I want a boy. And I just thought, a boy is easy. All I'm just going to do is get him a pair of trousers, a jeans, pair of jeans, a shirt, and we are off. There's no hair, there's no socks, there's no all that palaver. So I wanted a boy. But anyway, I remember when Gracie was born, as soon as they pulled Gracie out, and they said it's a girl, I was shocked. I'm not kidding. I was like, I was so shocked that I just went back and I just went quiet. And the midwife was like, Mrs. Jelenke, Mrs. Jelenke, Mrs. Jelenke. He was shouting. And then I just suddenly came back and I said, yes. Are you okay? I said, yes. I said, congratulations. I wasn't sad, but I was disappointed down deep in my heart. So the midwife came and said, okay, here's the baby, and gave me the baby. As disappointed as I was, trust me, I held my baby in my arm. It was a different feeling from when I had Debbie. I held her like this, and I looked down, and her eyes were open, and she looked at me, and I looked at her, and there was this connection. I'm not kidding. There was this love that just came from down deep of my heart. The love just came, and I just held her, and I just loved her. I just cried. Tears of joy were just flowing down my eyes. It was not like that when I had my first daughter. I was just crying. I was so happy. And I tell you, it was only God that knows why that love was put in my heart. Because it is that love that has kept me going. You know, whoever have a special need child knows that it is very difficult to deal with them. But that love that God has put in my heart has always kept me from anything that relates to her. Like, I love her so much that I would not even want anyone to touch her. You know, when she's done anything crazy and she's driving me mad, and I'm like, Gracie. And I look at her like, that love just comes up. And I just love her. And rather than me to, oh, Gracie, I just love her like, oh, my baby. All the kids know that. And they tell me that, we know Gracie is your favorite. And honestly, I can't say she's my favorite. But I love her differently. And specially and dearly. So that was how Gracie was born. And honestly, as she started to grow up, she met all her milestones. All her milestones she met. We had a beautiful, lovely, good midwife. Health visitor, actually. Penny Hill. I'll never forget that woman. That woman, she was the same health visitor I had when I had Debbie. So I remember when I had Gracie and I brought her home, she came to me, she sat with me in my bedroom, and I remember she said to me, she said, with Debbie, I understand you did not take any, I didn't take any jab for her. I just said I didn't want any jab. I said, no, the polio, measles, whatever. I said to her, I said, I wouldn't want any jab. I don't know why I made up my mind like that. So when Gracie was born and I brought her home and she came to visit, I remember she said, Esther, I understand you didn't get any jab for Debbie, and I am guessing you will not be getting any jab for Gracie as well, MMR and all that stuff. And I said, no, I am not. Don't judge me on that, because I will explain to you later.
If I told